And for this session, we are going to be talking about how healthy relationships begin with Harmony SEL. And sit back, relax, enjoy, make sure cameras are on. We are going to be doing some things together in activity. So this isn't one of those just sit and get. So I do expect you to have some fun this morning, and any questions you have, do put those in chat and we will cruise on through today. Maybe. And the slide is not going. Here we go. So I'm Laurel Phillips, a Strategic Accounts Advisor with Harmony SEL. And a little bit about my background, I am a longtime educator, you all. Having worked as a classroom teacher, an assistant principal, I have been the director of before and after school care programs, as well as a preschool director as well, and college advisor and a consultant with Baltimore City Schools in the areas of restorative practices, PBIS, and a 504 consultant compliance person. And currently with Harmony SEL, work with national partnerships like Communities in Schools. And my colleague Elle is here with us today as well. I am based in North Carolina currently, and look forward to working with you all and helping you guide you with using Harmony resources and building relationships in your settings. So just going to talk a little bit about social emotional learning. Our everyday practices, what kinds of things you have available to you on our online learning portal with Harmony lessons and activities, and just what you need to get started with Harmony. So as a welcome, if you would drop in the chat who you are and just greet the people, who you are and what role you serve in Communities in Schools. Now there's like 60 people. Get those responses rolling in. Good morning, good morning. Thank you, Tamika. Good morning. Hi, Jacqueline. Hi, Kenyatta. Good morning, Brittany. All right, site coordinators, student support specialists. It's okay if you're a slow typist, it's all good. Re-engagement coordinator, directors, case managers. Okay, several different roles coming in. Love it. Wonderful. If there are a couple of people that would share with me, and I'm gonna stop share for just a moment so I can see faces. All right, so a couple of folks, what you are looking forward to this weekend. Do I have a couple of volunteers, just one or two? Somebody wants to come off mute? Come on.
I'm going to the state fair this weekend, so I'm excited to try new foods.
Who is that?
Ashley Cephas.
Ashley, all right. State fair. Okay, now Ashley, this is what I need you to do. You're gonna go to the state fair. This is what I also need you to do is ask the group if there are any comments or questions for you.
Okay, are there any comments or questions for me?
I don't have a comment or question, more of a statement. I will be at the state fair too, so.
Okay, so where's this state fair? I'm new to North Carolina. Where is this state fair?
It's in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. All right, in Raleigh, thank you. And one more.
Ashley, are you one of those, do you do the rides or you go to the venues? What is it that you like about the state fair?
I just go to eat.
My kind of girl, Ashley. One more person. What are you looking forward to this weekend? Okay, I'm looking for someone. Let's see, Ayana.
I'm going to New York City for my aunt's surprise 40th birthday.
Oh, nice. And ask that question. Are there any comments or questions? Any comments or questions for Ayana?
Ayana, what are your plans?
Driving or you fly? Uh-oh. Go ahead, Nat. I'm sorry.
Ayana, what are your plans while you're in New York City? Are you going to a Broadway show? That's my question.
No, I wish I was. It's gonna be quick because I don't have a lot of time. So my mom and I are gonna go Saturday and stay downtown Brooklyn and maybe get some good food and stuff and then go to the party and then come back on Sunday.
Happy birthday to your aunt. How old is she?
Thanks. Should be 40. Yeah.
Yana, I was asking, were you driving or were you flying?
Oh, I'm never driving anywhere.
I got you.
Even to Atlanta. So we're gonna fly.
Okay, thank you both for sharing. I have lost screen share privileges, Allison.
Good morning, Ariel. Good morning, everyone.
It looks like you're still sharing, but it might be that you're.
That's not my screen.
We're viewing Gertie Lockyer Mariani's
Got it.
screen.
Okay. There we go.
Thank you.
All right, Laurel, back to you.
All right. And so everyone, thank you for sharing. Those of you that have some exciting plans coming up, things you're looking forward to this weekend, go ahead and continue to drop those in chat as we move forward in our presentation. But we're meeting up this morning, and this third part of Meetup is just a community check-in. So during this time, as a community, our goal today is to be all in, be present and all in during this time together this morning. Just some brief learning time for you and some activities that you'll be able to use today with folks that you're working with in your settings. And then our quick connection. So everybody, I need you to make sure you've got some space, some room, but all together, kind of like at the sporting events. If we were together, we would be in a circle in this meetup. So when you are working with students during this time, during this practice of meetup, you would be in a circle. But since we're virtual, we're going to do this all together at the same time. So get ready and prepared to do the wave. So you need to have some room, but you're going to need to turn on your mics because I want to hear some noise in this process of this wave. The count of 3, I need to see a wave. Woo! And hear some noise. Just a moment for you to take a breath and to be ready to move forward into your learning today, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Woo! I love it. All right. And that's just called a quick connection, a time for us to just kind of come together as a group, take a breath, and be ready to transition into what we need to do next. So you all have just completed your first meetup, your virtual meetup. So social and emotional learning. What is the big deal about social emotional learning? We have come together, and I know you've heard this term, you've heard SEL, especially over this last 20 months. Oh my goodness. And working in your settings, but really what I want to point out about this slide is that this is a process. This is going to be a process that you are working through with your colleagues, as well as your students that you serve. Young people and adults acquire and apply the knowledge and skills and attitudes to develop healthy identities, be able to manage their emotions. The main thing is this is going to be for young people as well as adults. Young people and adults. We all need work on healthy relationships and being able to accomplish these goals together and make responsible and caring decisions. So what can SEL help to achieve? We want to be able to have settings that there is equity and excellence, that we have these partnerships that help us develop great places to be as families and schools come together, and you working with students and families You want to have these collaborative relationships that you're able to do things together, accomplish things so that students can be successful in out of school settings as well as in their educational settings. So CASTLE is the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. And they have 5 core competency areas: self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and social awareness. These 5 core competencies are what our resources are all aligned to. We are research and evidence-based, and they have the systematic approach to social and emotional learning across different settings, which includes our communities. And so most of you are working in schools, and these skills are being taught in classrooms so that there can be a school-wide philosophy, atmosphere, climate, culture, so that even families and caregivers are able to work together, and that also be including the community, so that everyone's a part of creating a place where students can develop these skills. And why is social emotional learning needed? You're working with students that have all kinds of things going on. You're dealing with them and their family history and family experiences, etc. And we want to build these healthy, positive relationships and include that in being a supportive community to the young people and families that we serve. They come with different communication styles. They come with different achievement levels. They come with different family dynamics. They come with different demographics. They come with different trauma. We want to make sure that we're able to have that climate that is going to be conducive to healthy living, being productive citizens, and being able to help them be successful in their social, emotional, and academics. And even in community settings and after school and before school care settings, you're also helping them increase their college and career readiness. Because if you're utilizing these activities with students, and every student that's had some sort of social, emotional competency, skill learning, they're going to be 2 times more likely to obtain a college degree, having reached these different levels, these increased levels of social emotional learning. And that includes having a safe space. Even before and after school care, we want to be able to have safe environments where everyone, staff members, students, they are seen, they are heard, they're valued, cared for, and respected. And who doesn't want that? Who does not want that? But we want to be able to have those ongoing opportunities in school and even out of school to be able to learn from one another and hear different perspectives, learn about different experiences people are having. And again, that happens in school and out of school. And you may hear something in your communities and your settings that they may not share in the school classroom setting. You might be the person that they're able to connect with and share something that's of significance to them that you're really able to support and help them in their learning and or what they're going through. We are all about building relationships and changing the world one relationship at a time. And even in, and I'm going to keep saying it, even in before and after school care settings, we want to be able to have environments where everyone is respected, celebrated, solving problems together, they're focused, and include everyone. And that's the thing about our activities. People cannot get left out. Students cannot get left out in this processes. We are researched and developed through Arizona State University primarily, and we have ongoing research with Johns Hopkins University. But we are finding in this research over the 7-year period that there was strong increases in student achievement, school enjoyment, and empathy for others, and then solid decreases in stereotyping, bullying, and aggression. And wanting to be able to have those kinds of things and those discussions even with students, that how they are being successful in their academics because of their newfound abilities to be able to share and work together with others. So even in the setting of before and after school care with students, we still want to be able to build those positive climates. And even now, as an adult, you're having some professional learning on how to work with students and be able to do these everyday practices of meet up and buddy up with your students to help improve social and emotional competencies, help improve relationships, engage with diverse peers, and have connection to each other and to school, have increased academic achievement, and decrease bullying, teasing, aggression, and stereotyping. But where we come together, where that little sweet spot is, you're gonna have the everyday practices of meet up and buddy up, and the lessons and activities that give that direct instruction on those core competencies. And the way our program is structured, I want you to think about two things. We've got two parts, and we've got our everyday practices that we recommend every day. And that's going to be our meetup, where most of you are probably familiar with that circle time or some sort of morning meeting, community circle, whatever it is that you call it. We call it meetup. And it just puts a SEL, social emotional learning structure to that time together. And that buddy up is going to be where pairs are coming together to practice these SEL skills. And the harmony goals are going to be part of our meetup, part of our community check-in, how we want to relate to each other. So that's one part. And then the other part is going to be our lessons and activities that can be done in small groups or whole group setting, just depending on time that you have available. If you're working with students each week on a particular skill, you've got some lessons and curriculum that you can use to directly instruct students. And we also have everything available to you on our online learning portal. So let's talk a little bit about the everyday practices. And we'll start with buddy up. Now, buddy up is the easiest thing for you all to start with working with students. Like I said, this is going to be something that you can do today. So how does buddy up work? Students are paired with a different buddy each week and engage in brief activities and discussion using quick connections cards. These time limits here are very generous. It does not take 5 to 10 minutes. When you are in groups with your students, it could take 2 to 4 minutes to complete these activities. They are that quick and they are that simple that you can keep on moving with what you have planned for your time together and the care that you're giving students. And why do we do this? We want to be able to bring people together of diverse backgrounds that may not typically choose to be or play or go with one another. And you're able to find out new things about new people. And you're not always with the same person, because when you ask your kids to partner up, who do they go with? Their friends, people they know, people that look like them. And we do the same thing as adults. So having those opportunities set up to meet others, find out new things, what they have in common, what cool things or something new or different people are able to do, which is just always amazing. We have, we're able to do these activities together, even as our company. We are all across the country working remotely, and we do buddy ups together. We do meetups together, and we find out, and it gives us opportunity to build relationship as staff too. So be thinking as a staff, what could you do with your staff colleagues to also build these relationships that promote collaboration, caring, and empathy. So there's 4 steps to buddy up. You would introduce it like you would anything else. Anything else you need to teach your students, your procedures for getting their snacks or their procedures for coming into your area to begin their homework or whatever their structure is that you're putting in place. Just like that, you would have to introduce buddy up and what that means. You would assign weekly buddies for them to interact with. You might keep a buddy track or something to keep track of who you know you've paired with whom. So everyone gets a chance to be a partner to everyone. And then you are in charge of selecting what activities they do together. And these are just some examples of having those buddy boards. So you would want to have in your setting a place to post who's partnered with who. And it can look however you need it to look for your setting. This could be as simple as chart paper with the names paired together. It can be as simple or as elaborate as you'd like. If you need to have them involved in the creation of the buddy board, hey, involve them in that so that they know that that's a setting that they are also able to be creative and participate and make it their own. And just a couple more examples, again, can be as elaborate or as simple as you choose. The younger students, and I tell you what, my older students, oh, they would be digging the selfie wall of partnering up by, having a moment of, hey, strike a pose and be able to partner up that way as well. My middle schoolers, they would have dug having their partners by picture. But these quick connection cards are going to be where you spend a lot of time just having something for them to talk about, something for them to do, and something that you do all together collectively. So our conversation cards are just that, something to discuss. What's something that you've done that made you feel brave? Is an example from the early childhood, which is pre-K through second. And then there's another level of cards, the upper grades, the 3rd through 6th. Today you are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Dr. Seuss. What's made you feel proud? So it's just some different ways to explore and have students think about some things regarding themselves and being able to share that with someone. And the collaborations are going to be something they do together. And then the community builders are going to be at the end of our meetup, like what we did with the wave. Woo! That community builder. We can make those and you can kind of adjust them to your setting and what works for your group as well. So we're going to be buddied up here. So I'm gonna need everybody to come back to their cameras because we are going to take a moment to go in breakout rooms and introduce yourself to a couple of other people in your group. And you're going to discuss this question. So this is an example of one of our conversation cards. If you could spend the whole day with just one person, who would it be and what would you do? And you're only going to have 3 minutes to complete this. And so each person in your group needs to make sure they have time to share. So keep an eye on your time. It is just going to be short, 3 minutes, probably 3 to 4 people in a group. And make sure everyone gets a chance to share and that you have greeted each other by name. Are we good? Greet each other by name and discuss. If you could spend the day with one person, who would it be and what would you do? Are we ready, Allison?
We are so close. You said 3 minutes, right?
3 minutes. Make sure everyone in your group gets a chance to share.
Okay, we should be good. She'll be invited. Click join.
Join your groups, join your groups. Yay. Join your groups, join your groups. Tanisha, Annette, hope you're able to get into your groups. Alvina, are you okay over there? You're on mute, Alvina.
So, okay.
Alvina, we're not hearing you anymore, so drop it in chat. If you can't get to your room, drop it in chat who you'd spend the day with and what would you do? If you're able, let me see those faces. Let me see those faces. Thank you, Carla. You are center on my screen, young lady. Thank you. You are the center of my Hollywood squares.
Thank you, honey. I'm just adoring this, so thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I need a couple of people to share something they learned about their buddy. So who it was and who they would like to spend the day with and why.
Okay.
All right, who was that?
Jacqueline.
All right, Miss Jacqueline.
I had the pleasure of meeting Brittany Harris. It was very strange because we both had the same idea who we spend the day with ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. And what we do some self-help things for us. I basically said I'll probably just relax, do a facial, maybe do a nice bubble bath, and just relax. And another thing, she's in Cumberland County. I'm originally from Robinson County, so we're neighbors.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Jacqueline. Thank you, Brittany. And one more.
Go next. I'll go. Oh, go ahead.
Who was that?
No, you can go ahead. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I met with Ashley. I can't remember her last name, but I really loved the idea of her. She said that her grandmother passed away. So she would like to spend the day with her grandmother. So she could write down a lot of recipes that that her grandmother used to, like, things she used to make, because she said back then she didn't take it serious. Her grandma teaching her how to cook stuff. But now she said she wishes that she paid a little more attention to be able to hold on to those things with cooking. So I thought that was really sweet.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sheridan. Thank you, Ashley. I need to hear something from some of these gentlemen.
Hey, I go. I had the pleasure to speaking with Mrs. Williams, and we both kind of had similar answers. We both talked about our parents that passed, and that we would spend time with them, just giving them a rundown on how life is now and how much things have changed.
Thank you, David. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. One more.
I'll go.
Thank you, Kenyatta.
Okay, yeah, I was in the group with Toy and Ayana, and both the ladies, the first thing I noticed that I could tell that they looked like they had long days. So Toy kind of shared that she had a migraine going on, and Ayana was saying that she was just physically exhausted. And so Ayana said she had a lot going on, so she really needs to spend more time with herself, just really focus on her. And then Toy said that she's a mother and a wife, and she would like to spend time with her godmother just to get advice, just to kind of talk about life and everything that's going on in her world as a mother and a wife, which I thought was very refreshing. So they're really focused on self-care and themselves and what they need to try to get them to a better place right now.
That sounds like the running theme. And one of your group members, would you introduce Kenyatta and what he had to share?
Kenyatta shared that he wanted to spend time with his grandmother because she transitioned too soon, and they used to go to Sonic and get the slushes from Sonic every Sunday and spend time together. So he would like to do that again.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Now, see how quickly that was done and all the different connections that were made during that time. So we're going to head back here to the presentation. And I want you to think about what kinds of skills did you have to have as a buddy in that buddy up setting? What kind of skills did you have to display, use, work through? What were you experiencing? And start putting those in the chat. And just an example of a collaboration, this is another card that make up a silly handshake with your buddy. So if you were in person with your students, you might have them create a handshake. And these days, you know, people don't necessarily have to touch. So they may come up with a move of their own where it was more of a, you know, kind of a virtual thing that we've done before, but doesn't have to touch, just some sort of connecting motion that is just for them and their buddy. And acrostic poetry, a lot of our activities are literacy-based, math-based. There's some sort of learning that can happen, but creating a poem together, using each name to spell out different words that can create something together. Our collaboration cards allow for that. And that community builder. Now, this is something I want you to keep in mind, take a note of. I want you to think about a positive word that describes you. and save that for later. We're gonna need that. Think of a positive word that describes you and hold on to it because we'll need it for later before we end today. But what skills? What skills? Elle, would you help me out with the skills that we're seeing and just kind of give me a little rundown?
Communication, empathizing, body language, affirmation, empathy, active listening, encouragement, verbal communication, listening again. Boy, they hit a lot of them.
Awesome, wonderful. Just those 3 minutes, you all, and all of these different skills are being practiced during that time. So even again, in your before and after school care settings, you are working on all kinds of social skills with just that short 3-minute question that students are able to ask or talk about with one another. So opportunities for buddy up. Now, most of this presentation is geared toward the school setting, the classroom setting. However, it just has a way for you to think about it, tweak it for your particular group, your setting, who you're working with, whether it's at a school, but you're, in a different setting, after school, before school, after school, you're able to tweak it for your setting. So think about ways that you'd be able to utilize buddy up. Is it gonna be before snack? Is it gonna be before they do homework time? Is it gonna be before you all do an active activity, whether you're going on a walk or you're doing something physical with the students, having some kind of, movement break, or as they partner up, you're gonna have them do a question. How are you going to incorporate it? So that's where I want your wheels to get turning and think about, where can I have them do these activities together so that they're getting to know each other, they're engaged, they are practicing all of those skills, even in, before, and after school care. So harmony goals. So this is going to be those agreements that you have in your settings to help keep your community setting safe, caring, and supportive. How are you going to treat each other in CIS, this particular school, this particular church setting, this particular, wherever it is that you're located? How are we going to treat each other in this setting? So you're going to want to discuss those ideas, have them, talk about it together, how they want to be treated, how they want to be talked to, what kinds of ideas do they have, synthesize it together, put it on some sort of sign, display, record it so it's visible for them, and have them be a part of that, whether it's like a CIS contract where they're able to sign on the dotted line or make a part, put their signature on that document so that it can be talked about together. You are a part of how we're going to treat each other. You are a part of this discussion. You're able to refer back to that when you're working together with them. And just some examples of having those things posted: be a good friend, include everyone. Again, phrasing things positively, but being specific enough so that they'll know exactly what's meant by what you want to accomplish and how you want to treat each other. Encourage our classmates, help one another, solve problems together. Whatever it is that is coming up for you and the students of how we want to interact together. It's more than we're going to be safe. It's more than we're going to be respectful. You're going to dig into that a little bit deeper. We're going to greet each other. We're going to talk to each other in a calm tone. Be a little bit more specific with those goals, and those can be changed. If they're accomplishing them, what else is something we could work on together in this setting? And so the meetup is going to be that circle time, that community time that you have together as a group. You're going to greet each other, share ideas, monitor harmony goals, how we're doing with what we've set up as far as how we're going to interact, and how we're going to solve problems together if we need to. And then what are we going to do to build our community in this setting? And why do we have that time of community? So that we can do just that, have a sense of belonging. There's some place that they're connected. There's going to be some work on communication skills, collaborating, working together, and kind of feeling for one another. I loved even in the buddy up how Kenyatta was talking about what he noticed about his partners, that they were having a rough day, and just their similarities as wives and mothers, just he noticed what they were going through, and just the running theme of self-care, making those connections and being able to communicate about those as a group, as a full group, helps foster that empathy for one another. And again, this is usually a presentation done for school staff, etc. But even working in communities and schools, where would you have the opportunities to meet up as a community in a circle, have a time that you can see every face in the circle and work together as a whole group, whether you're leaders at a setting and you have multiple groups going on, you have your own little mini circles, your own mini meetups, small groups, problem solving. If you've got to work on something together as a group, you're able to do that, whether it's a staff meeting, even as a CIS staff, doing some of these activities together to help create, promote, maintain your positive relationships with one another. And family events, you always are working with families all the time, dropping off, picking up, activities, things that you all are planning for your families to participate in. Those can be activities you can use with the families. So those 4 steps to meet up, just as we've done this morning, welcome or greeting. Most important thing about that welcome or greeting is by name. Greeting someone by name. Step 2, sharing and responding. What were people looking forward to for their weekend? That state fair, that interaction of that back and forth. Someone's asking questions specifically about going to the fair. Not everybody saying something about something and nobody remembering anything about anything. So making sure there's some of that interaction that is appropriate. Those are skills that you're building during that time. Community check-in. How are we doing with what we've established as a community? And quick connection. What are you going to do together? As that's fun, we can move on to something else very quickly. Those connection cards. You have something at your fingertips to use. You have something that you're able to access very quickly. And just that example of that community check-in. Now, our Harmony goal for today was be present, all in, participate. And I have to say, folks, we were rocking it during that time of participation so far. Cameras are on when we're asking for them to be on if it's possible for you. And we do understand you got stuff going on, so no worries. But thank you so much for that. So your thoughts on how we're doing, whether it's an emoji or a reaction or in the chat, I need you to give us a community check-in grade on how we're doing with be present or all in. Put it in the chat or make a reaction on your Zoom screen, whether it's a thumbs up or maybe it's a thumbs down for you. I don't know. But put your reaction there, please, as a community. I'm seeing some responses. What you see, Elle?
I see Brittany, thank you. Shakira, thumbs up, a heart. We got some love coming our way.
Love.
Kathy says fabulous. Carla thinks you're very engaging. I agree. We got some smiles.
Yay!
Nice. Thank you, Miss Elena.
All right. Thank you, Elle. So everyone, thank you so much. But it's just that simple. Checking in with one another about how are we doing with what we've established as our goal today. And we did our little practice earlier. So in the interest of time, we're not going to do another practice right now. But just a reminder of those 4 steps. Easy process. Those meetup times don't have to take you any more than, when you've got a flow of it, doesn't have to take you any more than 7 or 8 minutes to complete that meetup. Now, to begin with, it's going to take you about 15, 20 minutes to get the process down, just to work through each step with your crew and then know what that process looks like. But as you get into the flow, then that time frame kind of decreases a little bit, unless you have something to discuss in that community check-in time and you have control over that. One of the things about these resources is they are extremely flexible to your setting. If you need 15, 20 minutes this day for your meetup, then you've got 15, 20 minutes for that. If it's going to take you 5 minutes, you know what? We're just going to work on welcoming each other and doing something as a group. That may be what you do for your meetup that day, but you have control over that. So we do have lessons and activities, songs and games, and all of those things are focused on our 5 focus themes: diversity and inclusion, empathy and critical thinking, communication, problem solving, and peer relationships. And the way those units and lessons are structured on the portal, you've got a drop down for, it gives the grades, but there's also the choice of out of school time, which would apply to you all. You can choose out of school time primary, you can choose out of school time upper grades. You've got a couple different choices, or you can go directly into a grade level if you choose to. But the out of school time lessons are gonna be a little bit more geared toward that work that you do out of school. But there's all of the units are the same in each of those grade level bands. And then the lessons are going to be what's different for each of the grade levels. And the way that our lessons are broken up, each unit's going to have the goals. Why is this lesson even being done or talked about? Lessons and activities that are for that unit, and homeschool connections. So that may be one of the features that you might want to use for the lessons, because your time is limited. We do realize that. So what pieces of our program work for you, that then you pick and choose what to utilize as far as homeschool connections. That may be a place that you look at as far as these are going to be some skills we work on, and that's how you want to share it with the families. And special features, pre-K through 2nd grade is going to have a literacy base. So there's stories, and our character Zappa Zipple Zen Zuzuri, also known as Z, is an alien that has come from outer space, spaceship crashes, meets the clubhouse friends, and the clubhouse friends will teach Z how to be a friend, make friends, and maintain friends. And there's activities there. And then the 3rd through 6th graders have games and scenarios and different things that they can work through problem solving together as well. So on our portal, online.harmonysel.org, is where you will find all of the resources you need to utilize Harmony activities. Easy to access. As soon as you sign on to the portal and create your account, you have access to all of the resources that we're talking about today. I'm checking my time.
The link is in the chat. If you click on it right now, you will have it available for you. And it's really easy to just put your email in and create your own password, and then you have access to everything.
Absolutely. Thank you, Elle. And I think I've got, go ahead, Allison.
I was just going to say, I don't know how much you have left, but you've got time.
Okay. All righty. So registering, as Elle said, is very easy. The online link that is in the chat. So don't look at my step 1. You can reach it from either place, basically. The harmonysel.org is going to take you to the main Harmony SEL page, whereas the online is directly going to take you to like step 3, where you're going to see the place to sign in or log in or register, and then you're going to create your profile, putting in some demographic information, and then submitting, and then easily you have your accounts ready to get started. And I am going to go to the portal just to show you the ease. Allison, do you see my portal screen, Harmony SEL? Perfect, thank you. So for instance, we talked about these Harmony goals. We've done a buddy up activity, and we have done a meetup together this morning. And the quick connection cards, this is where I'm going to go to and just show you just how easily you have access to these things. You can print these yourselves, whether you choose to do so in color or black and white, that's up to you. And everywhere that you see a blue box in the corner, these resources are translated into Spanish. So wherever you see that blue button, you're able to translate that whole page, that whole activity into Spanish. So conversation cards, I think I'm gonna go here. And then you have got the conversation cards ready. Just various things to talk about. And you're able to go through and decide which ones are going to work for my group, keeping them low key to start with, maybe, so that they get to talking. And if they know each other pretty well, that sort of thing, then you can use some of the ones that are a little deeper in thought, that require a little bit more reflection. You're able to switch that up however you need to. If you can meet anyone famous, who would it be and why? And you're able to add your own directions. You know, even in our time earlier with our Buddy Up, people, there were some people that chose someone that was deceased. There were people that chose themselves. There were people that chose other folks that are alive. I mean, it's just different, whatever perspective someone may be coming from that particular day are the things that folks will get to discuss and find similarities and differences in to be able to work with. So those connection cards are available to you. One of the other ways they're available is on our Game Room app. And I think I have a slide about that a little bit later, that you're able to have them on your phone, your device. You're able to easily access them. You can favorite the ones you want to use and pull that list up. You're able to do that. But all the things we've talked about, you've got Meetup and the steps to Meetup, just to remind you or give you some extra tips, frequently asked questions. Everything is there for you. Getting started is probably a good place to start when you get onto the portal. And the dashboard is going to be like the home page. But those lessons and activities, this is what I was talking about with the drop down. You have out of school time for lower grades and out of school time for upper grades. So you're able to go in there and choose what activities or what lessons you might want to use if you're working on, hey, we're going to work on some problem solving together, or we're going to work on diversity inclusion is what we always recommend, because that just builds the foundation of relationships and working through or getting to know one another. All right, I think I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint at this point. All right, are we back to additional resources? Yes. Oh, I'm rocking it on the technology today. I'm so excited. So one of the things also that are accessible on that learning portal are on-demand training videos. So one of the things that I'm hoping to be able to set up with you all is, if you're interested in training, specifically in North Carolina, you are able to have a couple different options. One of them being on-demand training, where you do everything that's self-paced. You're able to view the videos in each section and then take a, I believe, 12-question assessment. And then you also receive a certificate of completion of that training. So you're able to have those hours, or if you're needing to have a certain amount of professional development with your teams, you're able to do that on-demand training video option. HarmonySEL.org, again, is just going to be where all of our resources are located, webinars, different things that you can view at your leisure. And we also have distance learning resources. Don't know if any of you may be in that situation where you're still doing some things virtually, but we do have some things available on the online learning portal so that you can access those as well and have those resources. And I'll point out our 10-day easy start guide. That may be something you're interested in working on with your teams. You know, hey, we're all going to, for these 10 days, go through these activities. This is what we're going to use to get started using the Harmony resources. It's laid out for you for 10 days so that you don't have to do any of the picking if you don't choose to. It's already laid out for you in an outline, and you're able to just move through that with your team if you choose to. So the Game Room app, Android and iOS compatible. You have those quick connection cards right at your fingertips. There's all of our, or some of our lessons and games activities have been gamified and are available to participate in and play games. So whether you have a station that you're doing before or after school care for the students, they have that opportunity to work on those games together, things like that. Can do it on iPads or whatever resources that you might have available. But yes, that'd be something you'd be able to share with your students and families to participate in. Great for classrooms, great for home, great for communities in school settings. And again, those are going to be activities that are worked on. Pro-social behaviors, communication skills, empathy is what those games are based on. And Harmony at Home, again, I want you all to think about how your connections with families are important. And you've got resources available to you now with Harmony SEL that you're able to use in your settings. You're able to share them with your families and be able to bridge a lot of times those divides with, well, I'm just dropping them off, I'm just picking them up. But you're able to make a connection of some sort or be able to have a conversation about something that's applicable to the family. And so Harmony at Home is also on the portal. You can introduce it to them. These may be things that you choose to do at your setting. Z might go on a field trip with you all in your setting, whether you're going somewhere physically or a group is taking Z over here and they've got to do a story or create a play or whatever it is that you all do in your setting to create those fun, learning, safe environments that they want to be in and enjoy their time before or after school. Snack time, I'm thinking snack time is where you can talk about some things and work through some things. Those conversation cards can work during snack time. And then even like sunshine surprises. Families want to hear what great things their students have done, accomplished, worked through, been creative about. Oh my goodness, did you know that so-and-so did, they were the creator of the day when they did their Lego building or whatever it is they may have done. But being able to send some sort of just shining moment to the family so that they have something positive to think about their child's time in before or after school care. Making those connections, and then families are excited about, oh, I know they're going to have a good time today when they go to before or after school care. And a lot of people will ask, how is it that we get all of these resources for free? How does this work? You do not owe us any money. You have these resources accessible to you. You just have to the only investment is you putting in the time to find out what works for you, see what you're able to utilize, make the plan of this is what we're going to do today in our setting. Those are the investments that we require and hope that you accomplish when you're using Harmony SEL resources. Harmony SEL works because it's intentional about relationship building. It is specifically built so that you have that time together. I cannot emphasize enough working together as a staff and utilizing these questions, these collaborations, these conversations, these community builders as a staff. When you're modeling it with one another, your students are going to follow. Your students are going to not have any issues doing the activities that you are also doing and you are also a part of. This is going to impact your all's communities and the settings that you are working in. Enhances the climate. Like I said, and this is typically a school presentation, but it works across age levels. Again, we need those skills just as much as our students do. So working together to have a positive environment, we need to do the same thing. And we are aligned with many different district, state, and national initiatives. And everything is available to you online at no cost. And you have stories, songs, lessons, games, strategies. You're like, what am I gonna do? Oh my goodness, I have those conversation cards. We do have something we can talk about. We do have something we can do. We do have something that we can work on together as a community. You've got it. You just have to use it.
Laurel, if I could interject just before we move on, our CIS programs are working within different districts, different schools across the state. And the same resources that Laurel has just shared with all of you that you have available through our partnership with the National CIS organization. If you in your district would like to share these resources with your school or with your district, I'm going to drop Laurel's email address back in the chat again. She can hook you up. She can help you make that part of your entire school climate if you have a school or district that you think would be interested. Please contact her. She's a wonderful resource, as you all know.
Please do. So as we are wrapping up today, I do want you to think about your particular setting, and your teammates and your students. What is something that you will do right away? Now, typically, if I was in the room with you, we would do all 3 of these steps. But what I'd like for you to do, and Allison, we're going to go into breakout rooms for just a couple of minutes. And I want you to just discuss one thing that you're going to do right away. One thing that you're going to do right away is what you're going to discuss in the breakout room. So everybody get ready to come back on cameras and be ready for that discussion. Something you're going to do right away. And also a key takeaway that you have from today's session.
Laurel, how long?
Let's do about 3 minutes. I think that's a good time frame. Just the 2 things. One thing you're going to do right away, and a key takeaway that you have from today's session. You're going to discuss that with your group. Everybody good? Thumbs up if you're good. Ready to get in your groups? And Allison will take us away in just a moment. One thing you'll do right away and your key takeaway from today.
One second, I'm just making sure that everybody.
So while she's doing that, you get Laurel Entertainment. And one of our songs is "Have a good day, have a good day, have a good day, have a good day." Are you ready, Allison?
I am. I hated to interrupt. Okay, here we go.
Take us away.
And Elle, you don't need to join. Did she join?
I was assigned to room 8, but I didn't join. Back. That's all I recall. All right, a couple of folks, share out what you are going to do right away and what's a key takeaway from the day. Go ahead, take yourselves off mute. Couple folks that haven't shared today. Let's go.
And anybody who's shy, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Y'all can't be shy, not everybody.
I would, this is Shakira Porter. I
go ahead.
said that I was with Dominique, and I said that one of the things that I would incorporate would be the buddy up. I already have an account, but I still didn't know that all of that stuff was up there. So it was definitely good to get that information. And kind of go look at some different things and just browse through. So I would definitely incorporate that. I've only been with CIS for a little over a month, so I'm still learning, still getting acclimated with things. But just knowing that I can use this, not just with the students, but even with the families. As I told Dominique, we can have 2 houses beside each other that are identical, but the environments are going to be different. So engaging these families and children and getting them involved with each other to look through a different lens, get some different perspectives and things from each other, because it takes a village. So I think that this could definitely benefit and work with students of all ages.
Thank you, Shakira. All right, other shares. One thing you're going to take away for you and something you're going to do right away.
This is Lindra Phillips. One of the things that I told her I'd like to do. I work with high school students. And I try to, when I'm meeting them for the first time, I'm already started using your conversation cards to decide on what I think would be best for them, to get them to open up and be relaxed before we start setting goals and start talking about what we need to do. And right now with COVID, we're not doing any family engagements or anything, but I'd like to use that for my family events, because a lot of the family members, they don't know each other. They may know the kids, or the kids may know each other, but the parents have no idea who's who and what they're doing.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Linda. And that brings up an excellent point. One of the things I want you all to realize, again, our research and evidence base is based on pre-K through 6. However, these skills are ageless. She works with high school students. The strategies and the procedures can be used with any age, any group, etc. It's not just for the little kids. So thank you, Linda, for pointing that out and making me reminding me of that to share with you all. Because again, it's important for us to use them as adults, be able to have those interactions and conversations with our families and friends. And some folks use it with their families. So hey, you have it at your fingertips and easily available. Just have a couple of last few things and we will be done today. Thank you for sharing. I don't know why it wants to be delayed when I come back to it, but
you all click on the link too make sure you click on that link, that you have that link for the survey. Miss Laurel does need your feedback. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all. We are on social media, so do get connected because there's ideas from all kinds of settings of folks using our resources. Those are available to you. And this is my contact information. I am so excited for you all and thanking you for your time, your participation, being all in today. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You can take a picture of my information if you are interested in moving forward with training for your settings or getting in contact about how it can be utilized across your school. If it's not already, because many North Carolina schools are utilizing Harmony. So stay in touch, get in touch, how we can be of assistance. We are here for you. And if there are any questions, I'm going to stop sharing. I want to see faces these last couple of minutes. Just have 3 minutes. Ha! 11:27, I did it. Let me know if there are questions. You can come off mute. You can put them in chat. Any final thoughts, questions?
This is Lisa Carter, and I am Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools, Shamrock Gardens Elementary. This was really good. I mean, you know, sometimes you go and you're like, okay, I leave and wait a minute, what did I leave with? But this right here is what it's all about. You did an amazing job presenting the information, and I'm looking forward to using this resource. Thank you.
You, Lisa. Lisa, reach out because I'm trying to get in Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. Come on here.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, the work you do is so important. Students have to have a place to connect, and a lot of times it is their before or after school care setting. So thank you for all you do. And that trend of self-care, it's been a rough 20 months, folks. You make sure you take that time for yourselves. You have that massage. You have that that book that you just haven't touched. You pick it up and read it. Have some time that's just for you. Turn the lights off. Take that bubble bath. Take that walk. Do what works for you. Make sure you set aside that time for you so you can be well for the students and families that you serve. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Round of applause, Laurel.